What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. Today's video, we're returning back to the Great League Remix yet again with another Legend run, this time by Bosch 2018, running a very similar team to one that we ran last week, where they're using the Mandibuzz double steel line, where instead of Steelix, they're using Magnezone in the back. Shadow Magnezone is no stranger to this meta, as it's become very popular as a very strong answer to a lot of common picks. Let's get into the battles here and check out Bosch's run to Legend here in this first game. We see a Nightmare lead, where we've got Magnezone looking to safe swap in the Ferrothorn, and the opponent comes in with a Ninetales. We got Flash Cannon. Hold on a minute. Now, hold on a minute. The opponent does counter swap here. Having ice is nice here because they're going to be able to outpace this Ferrothorn. Oh Lord, please tell me this lands. Please, please. Oh! I've been denied. I deserved that. I needed that to happen. The opponent smartly shields up the Flash Cannon and makes me a miserable, miserable man. But now the opponent is going to be able to get to the center, or this Weather Ball here, and that's going to take out Ferrothorn, leaving shield advantage, and for Magnezone to come in and go for a farm down. Doesn't even need to shield here, and opts not to. The opponent having their own Magnezone in the lead is going to be dangerous here, but Bosch is ahead on energy, and one Wild Charge is going to be enough here. Now, he shields up one move here, just in case that's the Wild Charge, but they go for the Mirror Shot. No attack drop. The opponent does get another move through, but this is all going to come down to who wins CMP here, as this Wild Charge is going to do enough. The opponent immediately swaps in. They swap in a Pelipper! Oh no! God!
Boom!
Oh, that Pelipper has absolutely been destroyed. Its entire family, all of its lineage, its ancestors, they all felt that. And the opponent goes for the bait, knowing that if they Wild Charge go through, the opponent would have to go down to the Dark Pulse. But that's a good game. Oh, that poor Pelipper, dude. Getting into the next battle, we got Empoleon on the lead here. All three of these Pokemon have a decent amount of play into Mandibuzz, and we're going to safe swap right into this Ferrothorn here to draw out the Annihilate. Now, Annihilate here does have enough bulk to withstand one Power Whip, but the second one will get a shield if the opponent decides not to. And another some frame drops. Trainer must be on an Android. I feel bad for all y'all who are playing on Android right now. I'm thankfully, iOS is not a problem here. Now, the opponent tries to give the Mandibuzz less farm, perhaps, but the frame drops have been ridiculous, and I cannot, like, genuinely, I feel bad for anybody who tells me they're playing on Android right now, because I've seen the frame drops. They are game-altering. It's ridiculous. I know that the game's not, like, super optimized for Android, but, like, there's a certain point where it's like, come on, man, really? Anyway, Night Slash not going to do a lot of damage here. The Magnezone comes in, and the opponent has a Mantine in the back, and Magnezone ends the game without doing anything. Magnezone just looks at the opponent, and they're like, nah, dude, you got this. I'm done. A good reason why ABB teams, which this particular team is ABB, and what that means is you have a Pokemon in the lead, the Mandibuzz, and you have double Pokemon in the back. This time it's two steals, right? So ABB with two steals. So we're using a safe swap steal, in this case Ferrothorn, to draw out the counter user like Annihilate, so that the Magnezone can hopefully sweep in the back. So that's what this kind of team strategy is going to be using. Now, looking to see Bosch probably do the exact same thing as last time. Look to save both shields for the Magnezone and go for this farm down. Now, I think that this farm down's a little bit much here. I think probably want to throw something at some point here. But the opponent does go for the Shadow Ball. Bosch lives on 1 HP, going for the Dark Pulse. Could have gone for Aerial Ace here to guarantee a knockout, but that's okay. Dark Pulse is going to do more than plenty of the opponent at 1 HP. Now going for this next Dark Pulse here. Because the opponent decided not to shield, their fast move damage did not go through, and this allowed Bosch to get in that last move. Now here comes a Cresselia. This is a very good matchup for the Magnezone because it resists all the damage from Cresselia, but the problem here is that there's 2 shields left on this Cresselia, and we're continuously going for mirror shots, just hoping for that debuff. The opponent not shielding, still not shielding. Trainer, they could have literally gone They could have gone for a wild charge and ended the game right there, but I know why he doesn't want to go for the mirror, or he doesn't want to go for the wild charge. I think that at some point, though, we got to go for wild charge. At this point, though, you could certainly just go for the mirror shots or the farm down. You're just kind of hoping at this point that you're able to get this farm down, and honestly, at this point, probably would make a little bit more sense here. Well, actually, it doesn't matter because I forgot there's a Magnezone in the back. And now, there's nothing that can be done. Magnezone on the other side with 2 shields just unfortunately gets to rip through here. So, good game to this opponent here. It doesn't look like Baj is going to be able to pull this one out. But that's okay because there's still many more to be had here. And, yeah, bye, Mandibuzz. You tried your best. Good game. Getting into this next battle here, Mandibuzz on the lead versus... Excuse me, what? What is this doing here? I haven't seen a Scrafty in so many seasons, man. This trainer's gonna go straight for the power-up punch. This is dangerous. Oh, no. Oh, no, dude. Oh, no. Hopefully the power boost to Aerial Ace makes this an easier matchup for the Mandibuzz because, yeah, no. This is not good. Another frame drop. Dude, you can literally... It just locks in place. As someone who used to play on Android who got frame drops, like... I know that those can force you to, like, lose turns. It's so detrimental to the game. Oh, goodness. Don't even get me started. Okay, so the opponent is going for the, shields here. If Mandibuzz is going to be able to get to 2 more Aerial Aces, it has the chance to win this matchup. The problem is that Scrafty has just gotten so... It's just going so crazy right now that the power-up punches... They may not be doing, but those counters being boosted the way they are. If you put Magnezone or Ferrothorn on the field right now, it would not be a good time. But thankfully, the opponent lets it go, and in comes Feraligatr doing resisted damage. Oh, okay, we're able to get to the Dark Pulse here. Almost thought he wasn't going to make it. Dark Pulse is going to do an exceptional amount of damage here, and he's going to look to just go ahead and give up Switch. Or no, keep Switch, I should say, to put Ferrothorn on the Feraligatr. Ferrothorn doing super effective bullet seed damage here in a very good situation. And the opponent has Haunter in the back, and Baj is getting the 15% battery level, living life on the edge. This opponent living life on the edge just as well, throwing Haunter on the field. I love the spice, man. Unfortunately, Haunter's lack of bulk is not going to do very well as Magnezone is doing so much damage with those fast moves, those Volt Switches here, and the attack drop as well, not doing anything but adding salt to the wound for this poor Haunter as Magnezone's going to get this farm down and be able to wild charge this. Oh man, this is going to do so much damage, dude. Good game to this trainer, but Magnezone just out here. Boom! Pop it off with them wild charges. Good game. All right, getting into the next battle here. We got Mandibuzz on the lead versus an Alolan Ninetales. You got to get out of here. This is a horrible, horrible matchup for the Mandibuzz, and we do see Baj immediately swap into the Ferrothorn here. Opponent looking to stay in and get that Weather Ball off, taking advantage of that one-turn swap in the beginning of a game. And Baj is going to shield up the Ferrothorn and possibly going for the Power Whip, and he's going to go... Oh, man, we're just going to have to see what happens here. Opponent doesn't shield here. And are they going to get a shield? Do they even get a shield? They do get a shield. We're keeping the Alolan Ninetales off of this Ferrothorn, or off of the Mandibuzz here, which is overall very good. Now the opponent probably has something in the back though that they want to align to that Mandibuzz. So in comes whatever the opponent has in the back. Baj has given up 2 shields, and in comes Jellicent. Perhaps instead the opponent just doesn't have an answer to the they don't have an answer to the Ferrothorn in the back, and they may very well be it. You know, I've seen a lot of teams that are completely triple weak to Ferrothorn. Opponent gives it up, and in comes a Euphis. Oh no, this is terrible. The rest of the team with a shield. Oh, this is not good. I'll have to see how this goes for Baj here. So the opponent comes, or they're going to stay in with this Euphis. The Euphis is looking to absolutely dominate this end game here with a shield, as Mandibuzz is not going to have a good time. Opponent getting one shot by a Mud Bomb. My goodness. Okay, well, Mandibuzz is going to come in here, and the opponent having Thunder Shock is, it's just not good. This is not good for Mandibuzz. So Mandibuzz is going to go down here. I fully expect this game to be a loss here, but if they can pull something out, but no, it's not going to be. Yep, we're going to go for the surrender here. It's going to be a good game. Baj looking to get that 3-2 and continue on his way to Legend here. And the next game has a Steelix lead. This is a pretty solid lead, especially if they're running Crunch and Psychic Fangs. Opponent immediately going for a move here. It's telling me it's either Psychic Fangs Or, yep, they're going to go for Psychic Fangs. So this is a very bad matchup for the Steelix when it comes to Dark Pulse versus the damage that comes out from the Crunch / Psychic Fangs. Dark Pulse is going to do quite a bit of damage here. Just takes a couple of Dark Pulses and then some to be able to get rid of the Steelix. And Steelix, honestly, we like to see this here because Magnezone has a very bad time against Steelix. So we're going to go for this Dark Pulse here. It looks like the opponent is going to decide now whether they want to keep the Steelix alive. Nope, they're going to go ahead and just let it go. Baj looking to go for a CMP tie that he definitely does not have a win in, and the opponent goes for that Crunch, knocking out the Mandibuzz, and here comes Magnezone to start getting a farm down. Maybe if they have the Steelix in the lead, they may be weak in the back to Magnezone, and Baj just making that read, as Feraligatr is going to come in here, and Feraligatr is going to eat this Wild Charge or be forced to put up a shield now, and we're going to see if they take it. They just eat it! Oh! And the opponent concedes, having double water in the back. Good game. Next team, we got Ferrothorn on the lead. This is a pretty solid matchup for Mandibuzz as you're resisting the Bullet Seeds and Power Whips. And if the opponent has Thunder, that's, you know, that's still, I mean, they're going far past the Thunder. They're maxing out on energy, so it's unknown if they have Thunder or not. But Thunder would do some decent, super effective damage to the Mandibuzz, but I don't know if it would necessarily do enough to be able to take it out in 2 hits. It's going to go for the Flash Cannon, which is definitely not going to be enough to 2-shot here, and it's more expensive than the Thunder. So the opponent swaps out of their Ferrothorn, and Baj is going to look to counter swap into the Gligar here, and it's a non-Shadow Gligar, meaning that this matchup is much better for the Ferrothorn. Looking to go for the extra damage on this Flash Cannon, knowing that a Power Whip will not be enough to knock out here on its own. Opponent's going to go for the Dig. Flash Cannon's going out from this Ferrothorn. We are going to see if they want a shield, and they do. That is a huge shield from the opponent because Flash Cannon would have probably put this thing into a range where farm down would have been possible. Now, we are going to see the opponent go for another Dig, correctly shielding it up. You could probably just go for Power Whip at this point. The opponent's going to CMP tie, look, or CAP, Charge Attack Priority tie. I gotta get used to it. But Ferrothorn hanging on by the skin of its chinny chin chins, going for this Power Whip here, going to be able to knock out the Gligar, and now we're going to see what the opponent's going to have. It's going to be the Ferrothorn. It comes back in. Mandibuzz is going to come back in to say hello here. The opponent's going to go for another Flash Cannon. It looks like I don't think that they would want to go for Power Whip in this situation, so we're going to see the opponent, yep, go for that Flash Cannon, and then just Magnezone's just chilling in the back, hoping for a good time here. Maybe they get a shield advantage or something, but now we're going to see him come in, and the Magnezone locks onto a Mantine in the back, and the Mantine has no hope, as they're just going to go for the Hail Mary Water Pulse here before getting farmed all the way down by this Shadow Magnezone, and the Shadow Magnezone has almost 2 Wild Charges, and Baj is just going to go for the Mirror Shot because it's going to be enough at the low HP of this Ferrothorn, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. Getting into the next battle here, we're going to have Mandibuzz on the lead versus Cofagrigas. This is definitely a positive lead here, and the opponent's likely going to switch out, and they do, into Steelix. Now we're going to see Baj go for the Dark Pulse here, taking advantage of, again, the desynced moves, as there is a 1-turn delay when you swap in the beginning of a game. And now he's going to come in with the Ferrothorn here, and another frame drop to boot. Power Whip is going to do a lot of damage here into this non-Shadow Steelix. It does about, I would say, 40% or so. Going to go for a shield in case it's the Earthquake, and the opponent gets the defense drop on the Crunch. So at least now we know that it's Crunch on the Steelix, and you can easily just no-shield the next move here. But definitely want to come out of this with some energy with which to hit that Cofagrigas back, because, you know, it's just good to be able to snowball the energy that's gained in a matchup here. So Baj is looking to go right before that second Power Whip, looking to lift off and go for another one. Lift off. Yeah, Ferrothorn's not going anywhere, let's be honest. And the opponent looks to shield up. Is Baj going to shield as well here? He's going to let it go. The opponent going for a Crunch, knocking out, and the Mandibuzz is going to come back in, resisting the charge moves from the Steelix, getting a full farm down. If he can get shield advantage, even Magnezone can dispatch of the Cofagrigas. So let's see what the opponent's going to have in the back, because they're definitely not bringing Cofagrigas into this. And they come in with a Dugong, and Magnezone comes in. If Magnezone can get to double Wild Charge here, we're looking pretty good. The opponent here now has a choice to make. Do they fear the Wild Charge? And they do not. There's no respect for Wild Charge here. The opponent's going to be able to go for a move, and that's going to do a lot of damage because there is nothing but nukes on the Cofagrigas. They full send the Shadow Ball. Opponent's not going to be able to make it to another move here because it is 7 to the Shadow Ball. and the next move would have been Psychic or Dark Pulse. They're going to go ahead and let that go. Is this opponent going to call this Wild Charge? It's all going to come down to this, because if they don't, the Dugong will make short work of this. Oh, they get to the move. It's going to make short work of the Mandibuzz. The Mandibuzz is now sitting in the back, and one Icy Wind is going to do enough here. But is double Dark Pulse going to be the way? Can the Mandibuzz knock out with 2 Dark Pulses? We're going to see. Dark Pulse number 1. Yeah, that's not enough now. That's unfortunately not going to do it here. Need to go for 2 more moves, and the opponent gets to the Icy Wind, and that's going to be, unfortunately, sealing this game as a loss for Baj. Now, if you noticed his elo, though, he needs the 4-1. The man has to win out from here on. So we'll see. Can Mandibuzz and company pull off 3 straight wins? Let's go. Getting into this next game, we got Quagsire on the lead. Now, one thing important to note here, the Shadow Quagsire can 2-shot Mandibuzz just about with the Stone Edge, whereas the regular, you will need 3. So this is a much more favorable matchup here for the Mandibuzz with a non-Shadow Quag. And trying to catch a Stone Edge on the Ferrothorn, the opponent showing great patience, doesn't throw, and counter swaps in a Steelix. So clearly, this trainer does not have a direct response to this Ferrothorn. They just need to get get it out of here. But now this is really, really risky for Magnezone, because you have to win switch in this situation. If Magnezone cannot land on that whatever else is in the back, it's going to have a very bad time versus the Quagsire. So we're going to see Ferrothorn look to no shield here once again, as Baj is looking to go for some more energy before throwing a Power Whip here to seal off this matchup or force the opponent to put down another shield here. The opponent does let it go. No shields are taken here. Quagsire is going to come in immediately and throw the move to get rid of this Ferrothorn, and now Mandibuzz is at least going to be able to stay on this, and now the Magnezone is not going to need to deal with it. But this is still going to be a lot of damage. It is a super effective Stone Edge. But no, it's not. It's an Aqua Tail. The opponent throwing the Aqua Tail here, maybe trying to bait or something. But here comes the Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is going to be doing plenty of damage with these Dark Pulses. The opponent is not swapping out. So it's very difficult to know what they have in the back here. I expect it could possibly be something like a Mandibuzz or another Flyer. Or perhaps it's something completely off the wall here. We're going to have to see what happens. But the opponent does let the Quag go down, and it's going to be Empoleon. Empoleon is going to be torn to shreds by the Magnezone, and the opponent concedes. That's a good game. All right, let's get into this next battle here. Mandibuzz on the lead versus another Shadow Magnezone. Immediate safe swap into Ferrothorn looks to be the play here. And opponent is going to stay in and perhaps go for the Wild Charge, as they do go for this Wild Charge here. That's resisted damage on this Ferrothorn. Not going to be enough to make a dent in the... Well, I guess it makes a dent, but it's not going to do enough to really threaten here. And the opponent now swaps into a Gligar. Shadow Gligar gets 2-shot by Power Whips, and they were not going to be able to make it to a dig here. So now it's going to be up to Baj. He decides to put up a shield on the Aerial Ace to try and get a shield back from the opponent here, as being able to get shields down against this Magnezone, or at least one shield down, perhaps get a nice farm with the Mandibuzz. That's going to actually come in clutch here, as the opponent now goes for a move. We're going to see what Baj looks to do here, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come in with this Mandibuzz, look to overload on some energy, try to land a Dark Pulse perhaps on the Magnezone here. So it's all going to come down to the Shadow Magnezone on Baj's side. What's going to be in the back, and is it going to be able to handle it? Going to go for the farm. Are we going for a full farm down here? Interesting. I like it. Double Dark Pulse against Magnezone is going to be a very good play here. Up to the... Okay, we get the full farm down. You're going to be able to live easily here. Going for the first Dark Pulse. Even though we're capped on energy, it's still better to go for that one Snarl for the extra damage. But now... Here's a Cresselia, and everything is coming together now, as now there's only one shield. Now Baj can just go for double Wild Charge here, and possibly if he lands it, can just go straight Mirror Shot after this. This is okay here. Baj is going to land that Wild Charge and immediately follow it up with a Mirror Shot, putting a lot of pressure on the opponent's final shield. The opponent does decide they're going to go ahead and shield, and at this point, Baj can just let this go, save the shield for the Mandibuzz, I think. Future Sight, going to knock out the poor little Magnezone. But now it's going to come down to that Magnezone in the back. Does it have a move ready, as the opponent is going to get farmed down here? No, he's got double Dark Pulse. That's also okay, as long as you've got the second move. That's going to come down to it. And he throws the Dark Pulse here, just in case the opponent tries to catch an Aerial Ace on the Magnezone. That would have been a that's very much a game-ending play. So well done here, overcoming a hard counter lead. And that's going to be the 4-1 needed. And now we're going to see it. Is it enough? It's 3002 Elo. Hitting Legend in this season. World of Wonders with Mandibuzz, Double Steel, and the Great League Remix. Very nicely done, Baj. Congratulations on Legend. Trainers, this is a team that works on a lot of Elo ranges. I've seen it. I've seen this team work all over the place, so I very highly recommend this or a team like it if you'd like to try and make some climbs in this meta. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.